G-L-O-C
Oh,
Glo-Co Radio.
Time flies! This will be the last episode of this semester. I hope you may find a bit of relaxation during the hectic time where we are all busy with group projects and final exams. For the Glo-Co Radio team, many of us on the team keep pets at home and relax over the weekend by playing with our pets. In this episode, we are going to share with you about animals, not only about how we keep pets, but also about animal rights and some bizarre animal eating habits around the world.
Hi, Don. What are you doing?
Hey, Carmen. I'm watching a documentary about illegal dog kennels. You see, those dogs not only do not have enough food to eat, they are also trapped in small cages. How can they be treated in such a way? It's so cruel.
Yes, sometimes animals are treated as mere tools. Some people only care about making profit, but ignore the welfare of animals. Have you seen the news? The hygiene of illegal kennels is absolutely terrible. I cannot imagine how the dogs have to live in an environment with excretion. In order to earn money, the kennel keepers continue to force the pure breed dogs to reproduce, regardless of the animal's health.
Oh, if people took animal rights into account, the treatment of animals would be much better. Talking about animal rights, what do you think about it?
I think the amount of consideration towards animals' interests should be similar to humans. Animals have emotions too. They can feel pain, pleasure, fear, and frustration. Their capacity of suffering has no difference from a human being.
That's true. I think every animal has inherent worth. Each of them has living value. They do not exist just to benefit humans.
So it means that every creature should have a right to survive. We ought to respect them and not to exploit them.
However, does this lead to the question of whether we should eat meat?
Well, it is a matter of personal preferences. I do have friends who are vegetarians because they witness the cruelty most meat-producing animals face. It is completely unacceptable when you see it yourself. For the most of us, we can at least do is to research a little about the source of food we are eating, just to ensure they are being properly taken care of, not tortured, even in their short period of life.
That is still sad. Maybe I'll just eat less meat. After all, there are many delicious cuisines out there made without the use of meat. Speaking of which, should we go eat?
Sounds perfect. Let's grab a salad or something.
Hey Maggie, guess what I found in the news? Chinese woman buys 100 dogs to stop them being eaten during the festival.
That's good. Dogs are being rescued.
I'm just curious, how could such weird eating habit exist around the world? For example, the Japanese eat horse, Australians eat kangaroo, or people in Finland even eat reindeer.
Oh, when I went to Major, I heard a story from our tour guide about why hackers eat dogs, but I don't know whether it is true. As we all know, hackers are immigrants in one town. Dogs were an embodiment of God to the locals. In order to irritate the locals, hackers in that specific area started eating dogs, and this became their culture eventually. But like what I said, I'm not sure whether it is a true story. Haha.
Interesting. And I know that kangaroo meat contains high protein and low fat. A chef in Australia was quoted to say, "Kangaroo meat is much better than lamb or beef. It just melts in your mouth." But surprisingly, the fact is that most Australians don't eat kangaroo.
It may sound a little strange to us, but every country in the world has some weird eating habits. It just depends on what is available to you and your culture.
See, that's what I'm asking. Doesn't it sound immoral?
I guess it depends on how you define moral. Say if you think eating chicken or pigs are okay, so why not dogs or kangaroos?
That's not the same case, right? Chicken and pig are within our food chain, but kangaroo isn't, and dogs are even our pets.
But they are still animals. Anyway, There's no absolute answer. People with different culture may have different claims. Some may even say this kind of eating habit should not be defined as weird.
Yup, cultural standards tell us what is acceptable to eat. And people in different societies may find it is hard to imagine eating certain animals. Say like Hong Kongers think eating dogs is a big deal, but eating snails or snakes doesn't really matter. But in foreigners' eyes, this may be equally weird.
Indeed a big issue, but I won't eat dogs and kangaroos anyway.
Esther, as I remember, you mentioned that your home is like a zoo.
Yes, my house is like a zoo to people, as I have 1 dog, 3 turtles, 3 parrots, and 6 birds.
How did your family come to having so many pets?
My dad is an animal lover, so as I. My family loves to be surrounded by animals. Our dog and parrots were bought from the pet shop, and the birds we have are rescued by my dad.
That's crazy, but your pets must have filled your home with love.
They also fill my home with lots of mess sometimes. Therefore, I read some books about basic trainings for dogs and parrots.
What kind of mess did your dog make?
My dog used to play with our toilet paper, steal our slippers, pee on the floor, and run around the house uncontrollably.
Wow. How did you train him then? Did you teach him some commands?
Do you mean the signal words such as sit, stay, and lay? I have taught him these words since he was small. I taught him to behave himself.
Do you think he really understands the meaning of these signal words?
I guess yes. If I catch him doing something wrong, I shout, naughty! If he really did something wrong, he would do the please forgive me roll over, which is so funny.
I wish I could train my cat.
Let me give you some tips then. Do you know your pet's interests?
My cat loves eating.
Train your cat with its food.
That easy?
Yes, just teach them like teaching babies the alphabet. Don't be so harsh.
Then I guess you really need to spend a lot of money on pet food, Esther.
Yes, you will be able to see different kinds and different brands of pet food at my home.
Oh, since we're talking about pet food, do you know that as responsible pet owners, we need to be more careful when we select and purchase food for our pets?
What do you mean, Ryan?
Let me share a story about my cat. There was one time when my cat was laying on the ground, not eating anything, and not peeing. Surprisingly, this lasted for a few days.
A few days? I guess there must be something wrong with him then. Did you bring him to the vet?
Sure we did. It was revealed that my cat had eaten the wrong type of food, causing some problems with his bladder and urethra.
Oh my, your cat must have suffered so badly.
I can imagine that, especially because my cat had to be neutered after the operation. How poor he is.
I think I need to double check whether the pet food I have bought suits my adorable pets when I get home tonight.
So, when we adopt pets, we should check with the vets to see if the new family member has any potential health problem, or else something really bad may happen, like my poor cat.
I believe we all learned and thought more deeply about animal rights and non-normative animal eating habits around the world after this episode. Perhaps we should notice and care more about the animals around us, not only those living in our home, but also those who live in Hong Kong without good care. As mentioned in the beginning of this episode, this is the last one of this semester. But of course, we have something great coming. This summer, we are planning to organize a radio day camp for those who are interested in English radio broadcasting, and especially those who want to join the Glo-Co Radio team in the future. Stay tuned to eCampus and our Facebook page for more information.